Hello and welcome to our Carnivore Q&A Thursday night live. We are here to answer your questions. We're here to inspire you. We're going to do some giveaways as well. Looking forward to chatting with everyone. Before we go around and do a couple intros, I just want to get the ball rolling. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye. And we're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt. You can post your best question or your testimony of healing. Adam, how's it going?
Fantastic, Kerry. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Good to be back. Lynn, how are you?
Doing great.
Ashley.
Excellent. Happy to be back. We missed a couple weeks, so nice to be back on.
It's nice to be back in the swing of things. We appreciate everyone jumping in the chat, posting your questions and posting your testimonies. Before we jump into the questions, Ashley, do we got any announcements?
We do have some announcements. One that we really, it's crazy to think about, but we are a month out from our next meetup in San Diego, California. It's going to be a great meetup. And Kerry, I need to get you, I guess, an updated picture. That's a little bit old. We've got a few new additions to that. But right there, you see Courtney Luna. We've got, of course, Adam, Dr. Kiltz, Stephen Lash. We got Christy's going to be there. We're also Coach Lisa's going to be there. We've got a great group that's going to be there in San Diego. Super excited about it, and bringing my wife. So I'm excited about that too. So yeah, so it'll be a great meetup, and we should be having a couple other meetups posted very soon on the healinghumanity.movie/events page. And if you will keep checking back there, our future dates will be posted soon. But the big one that's coming up, I guess, after that is going to be Meat Stock. And wow, getting super excited about that. I actually had a planning meeting a little bit with Scott earlier this week about this what he's got going on, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So super excited about Meat Stock, and we'll all be there, and it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, meatstockconvention.com. You can use code Healing Humanity, and there's going to be a very large presence of Healing Humanity cast, I guess we could say, including this individual here, Muscles Maggie, Rancher Maggie, Farmer Rancher Maggie. She's actually going to be attending Meat Stock, and we're going to be talking about Healing Humanity. We're going to be several of the doctors and experts that we also filmed for the documentary will be there as well. But I'm excited to see Maggie again. I don't know, Adam, are you excited? Do you think she's going to make you bring your work gloves and put you to work?
I'm not going to let her even ask. I'm just going to bring them.
So Adam and I will be building the fence outside of the Meat Stock facility if you need
Under
us.
Maggie's direction. There you go.
Maggie's direction, yeah.
Well, I think Adam also put in the comments there a discount code for if you are still haven't got your Meat Stock tickets, you can still get that and get a discount code too. Adam put that in the comments.
Love it. All right. So I know we have some more people that jumped on before my little brief announcement there. We're giving away a Healing Humanity shirt. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye or your testimony of healing. We love to hear those as well. And make sure that you are following Adam, Lynn, and Ashley. There are links in the description below for each of their YouTube channels. And there's also a link to the events page if you want to come to one of our upcoming events that we spoke about there a minute ago. All right, our first question of the night, Lively Lioness. Hashtag ribeye. My husband wants me to eat vegetables because I keep getting backed up. I won't have movements for days until it becomes painful and my entire body becomes hot and I get nauseated. Help.
So the first thing I look at is whether you're getting enough sodium. And that can happen if you're not new to carnivore, because, when you're new to carnivore, sometimes you get backed up because of the transition from, into ketosis. We do lose a lot of sodium, and sodium is important for having bowel movements. It just basically, it draws fluid into your colon. And so I would look and see, make sure, you might want to up your sodium, but if you don't want to eat vegetables, you can try taking magnesium citrate in the morning. Magnesium is often helpful in as far as getting there with your bowels moving. And if you don't want to do like full-blown vegetables, but you want to try something that has some fiber in it, you can try incorporating avocado. And yes, that is a vegetable, but that's one that a lot of carnivores do consume. They feel a little bit better because it's high in fat. But I would say maybe look at the sodium, make sure you're getting enough fluid, but get the sodium and maybe magnesium on board, and make sure you're hydrated, make sure you're moving. And you can also do, crazy enough as it seems, some breathing exercises can help, because it will help support your parasympathetic nervous system, which does impact your gut.
All right, good stuff. We got at Trucker Wife started carnivore 2 days ago, cooking a steak while I watch. Hello. Hello.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Hey there.
Good job on getting started.
2 days ago, I
2
think.
days. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
And Rhonda has a question. I have heard several people saying recently that there is no evidence that seed oils are bad for you, and it's just a fad mantra. What studies are there on this? I want to know.
I don't have my list of studies.
I don't, but all I had to do was go back and see the origins of where seed oils came from, where they were derived from, and get a little bit of background on that to know it does not seem natural. It does not say it's highly processed. There's lots of things that are put into it in the making of those seed oils. And that was enough for me, honestly. But I know there's definitely there's actually a lot of good content on YouTube that you can find about seed oils. I'm trying to think of a video or something that is specific to that. We have to research a little bit.
Well, as far as studies go, I'm not aware that there's any specific study that is just looking at seed oils. Unfortunately, nutritional studies are inherently very poor, because there are so many variables and so many factors. So you kind of have to look at it from a higher level, and you need to look and see like what has happened to the health of our country since we switched over from using saturated fats, animal fats, to using seed oils. And the increase, and not that we can necessarily say it's all because of seed oils, but there is definitely some correlation there between the worsening of our health. But there's sugar as well as a problem. But seed oils, if you look at them, if you're looking at going for what's natural, and a lot of people who even are like vegetarians, they're like, we want to stick with what's natural. If you take a seed and you have to put it through all these processes and use chemicals to extract oil out of it, that's not natural. And that's what they have to do with seed oils. And like avocado, olive oil, coconut, they can press oil out of it. So it's definitely a better process. But with the seed oils, they cannot do that. I mean, they have to go through a tremendous process to get the oils out of those seeds. And also, those oils are very high in linoleic acid, which is known to be pro-inflammatory. And it's also there's a lot of evidence out there that it is cancer causing. And so I would just encourage you to just dive in and find the research, but don't necessarily think you're going to find studies. Because even the studies that have been done with nutrition are just not reliable. I mean, they had their studies out there saying that the cholesterol is connected with heart disease, but those have been proven to be wrong. And so many of these other studies have been proven to be wrong, and they're just so poorly constructed. But maybe look at some higher level evidence.
Yeah, I'm with you. I always just wonder, there's some folks that are like big proponents for seed oils, and I always question that, like, why even roll the dice? These things are highly processed, bleached, deodorized. Like, you lost me at deodorized. Why do I want to eat something that's been deodorized? That's just crazy to me. Hexane, like high temperature just to get it. It's crazy. I don't understand why even roll the dice with it when we know we could just eat butter and tallow and absolutely thrive. I don't have to question it. The other thing is I wish Dr. Nelson was here tonight because he knows everything about seed oils. In fact, I think he said that if he gets the time, he's working on a book all about seed oils and the danger of seed oils as a doctor that's been doing this for over 40 years now.
And Adam and I are going through the Nutrition Network course, and so we are learning things, and I just don't have everything memorized, but we're learning too about studies that were done and were never published because they did not, the outcome was to show that these oils or some of these other products were healthy and they resulted in improved health. And when the outcome turned out to be the opposite, the study just never got published. So there's definitely that happens out there all the time. But if you are interested in connecting with someone who really does some research, I would connect with Dr. Sophia Clemens, and it's Z. I think it's ZSOFIA. He is with Paleomedica, which is in Hungary, I think. For over a decade, maybe 15 years now, they've been doing actual research on people who are on a carnivore diet. They don't call it carnivore, they call it something else, but it's a high fat beef only diet. And they actually have a lot of case studies and they do actual trials. And so if you want to look, that's not going to be on seed oils, but at least it's some information on trials with this diet that we're on and showing the health benefits and proving that there are health benefits. And so that's something you can look into if you're looking for actual clinical data.
All right.
I put in the comments a link to a website that you can go to and possibly do some of your own research. It's called openevidence.com. And it's basically a repository of studies that AI helped you to find. So you might be able to find something there.
Good stuff. All right. Skillet. I eat a very hyper palatable diet. Currently lots of sugar, pop, fast food due to business. Tried carnivore 2 weeks, but nothing seems to go down easily. Any tips?
2 weeks is definitely, you're still in that period of your body transitioning into using ketones for fuel. So I would give it more time. In fact, in a 2-week period, you could actually feel a little worse. Some people feel miserable because if you're not hydrating enough and you're not getting enough sodium, you can actually end up feeling worse during that period of time. So going carnivore is a fantastic step, but I would give it more time because you may not see the benefits right away. Now, some people do. Some people see them very quickly, but you got to give your body a chance to transition. I know Kerry always recommends at least 30 days. There's a lot of the docs that recommend 90 days.
Yeah, this would definitely be a case where I would say, maybe attempt keto first. Especially if you can't give up the sugary foods, using those keto treats, if you will, as a way to transition yourself. They're not ideal. And you probably wouldn't want to stay on those long term, but, use that as a tool to slowly transition yourself. So it's not so much of a shock to your system because you do have to worry about the mental health side of things as well. And your mindset. So if you're the kind of person, which it seems like you might be, to transition from one thing to another so abrupt that it's going to cause challenges and cause you stress and things like that, maybe transitioning a lot slower might help you.
Yeah. And I'm assuming nothing going down easily means that the food just isn't tasting well, or I initially thought maybe you're not seeing progress, but yeah.
That's the way I took it too. And that's what I was going to suggest too, because this is the perfect time of the year if you think steak or something is too expensive, this is the perfect time of year to go buy. Almost every grocery store has sales on right now. So all those who are out there listening, this is a great opportunity to go. But I would recommend getting something really good, treat yourself, and really, really kind of go if you're a big, huge hamburger fan, make yourself the best hamburger you can make. If you're a steak fan, make yourself a nice big ribeye and really enjoy what you're eating. Don't try and get too creative with anything. Keep it simple. Keep it really delicious or what you like. Scrambled eggs with some cheese on it. However you like to do it. Those are great ways to just make sure you're enjoying what you're preparing.
Yeah, and use salt. Don't skimp on the salt. Don't skip on the butter.
All right, we got Bride's Biscuit, healed from 8 diagnosed diseases and countless other conditions under carnivore. Also down 74 pounds this year, which is unheard of in all of my previous attempts.
Wow.
I love it.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Well done.
Great job.
8 diagnosed diseases. 8.
Should
all
be
from
front
diet.
page news.
And almost 8 10-pound bowling balls.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. That is incredible. All right, we have a question from Trucker Wife. What food products, Greek yogurt, milk, spices, etc., are okay to still eat? I'm struggling with what food items or condiments are technically carnivore, but should not be included. Adam, you want to take that one?
Let me read that again. What food products, Greek spices are okay to eat? Well, I mean, honestly, all of that is okay to eat if you can tolerate it. It really just depends on what your goals are and what you're looking to do. So, technically, spices are not carnivore. So, we can get that part out of the way. Yogurt is carnivore. Milk is carnivore. You got to be careful with some of the milks. They do add added sugars into those. But aside from that, the spices are definitely not carnivore. But if it helps you to add some spices to your foods, if you're not having issues, a lot of people think that's fine. So curious what your thoughts are, Ashley.
And I would say on the yogurt in particular, just a flag on that one, because when you say yogurt, you're talking about plain yogurt, not flavored yogurts and all that, because there's a lot of sugar, a lot of other things that are in any of the flavored yogurts. But one of the other things that I know that some have is, because you use the word condiments, there's things like that are much, much better for you that, there's still, like mustard, for example, is one that, yes, technically it's probably not carnivore if you're going to go the strictest definition of carnivore, but there's no sugars in it. There's not a lot of other ones. You can get a very clean mustard, and some people use that on their burgers, some things like that. The best advice I heard was from Laura Spath, and that is just use it as a condiment. That should not be your main dish. If you're going, okay, I can eat all the dairy I want, and all you eat is dairy, you're probably going to have some issues with the dairy, right? But if you're using it as just kind of a condiment aside with your burger, it should be fine for most people, although some people do react to dairy. So it all depends on you.
Yeah, and dairy can stall weight loss if weight loss is the goal. But if you're not looking at needing to, and even honestly, when you're losing weight, sometimes you can still lose weight with doing dairy. But if you end up having a stall, then the first thing to look at would be the dairy.
Hey, we got a super chat. John Barry, 8989, $20
wow.
super chat.
Oh.
Thank you, John.
Awesome.
We just answered that question.
Every penny we get from the super chats goes towards our project, so we really appreciate that. Please share your thoughts regarding the addition of spices to the Lion diet, such as pepper, onion, garlic powders, and coriander.
I'd be curious as to the reason for doing the Lion diet, because usually people who do the Lion diet, maybe they have an illness that they're trying to overcome, and whether it's autoimmune disease or something else going on. If you're doing the Lion diet for that purpose, then you may find you have more sensitivities to the spices, and you may want to stick with salt. But if you're doing it, for weight loss, or some other reason, I would try one seasoning at a time and just make sure you're not reacting to it. Like pepper is higher in histamine. So if you have any histamine issues, you could probably, you might have a problem with pepper. But I would maybe try one thing at a time and just make sure you're not having any reaction. Give it several days, even a week. Make sure you're not having any symptoms from it. And if you aren't, then should be okay to add it.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right, our next question. Thomas, Target Prime Rib, how do you get on the Nutrition Network course?
Nutrition-network.org, and you go to their website and pick out what courses you want to participate in there, and you can use our code Healing Humanity if you want.
We got new member, DJ Warrior. Samuel, thank you for that. All right, our next question. Actually, we have a comment from our friend, Lexus Jones, 1126.
Nice to seeing you, Lexi.
Yeah, it's been a while. My journey hasn't been perfect, but every time I'm on high-fat carnivore, my schizophrenia goes away and I feel so much better. This way of
That's
eating
awesome.
makes me love my job compared to when I'm suffering.
Woo! Excellent.
I love to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Carnivore Farm Mom asks, is fat fasting a good idea? If so, how long is it okay to go without protein? That's a Lynn question.
Well, I don't have the specifics as far as the answering. Fat fasting, some people do fat fasting. And it's honestly, even when I fast, and I usually do so with Coach Lisa's program, she actually encourages butter when you're doing a fast. And as long as you let it dissolve in your mouth and you don't, it gives you energy. It's a fuel source and it doesn't break a fast. But there are people who do fat fasting just because it does give you that healing. So I think I don't know necessarily a ton of details about it. Okay, how long is it okay to go without protein? You can fast. There's people who fast for 40 days and they do fine. But I think that I would recommend, if you're going to do a prolonged fast, that you make sure you have somebody, a coach or a medical professional who you're working with, who can make sure that you're okay. Because fasting can be a little challenging. You might want to work up to it, not just go right into a really long fast. But you can very safely fast for several days and not have any protein, and you'll be fine.
All right. We've got a question. My father is ESRD patient alongside. He even diagnosed with POTS spine at L1, L2. He is on ATT past 8 months, but doctors first suggested for surgery, but his ejection fraction is 33%. What's your advice about surgery? Full disclosure, we're not doctors and we don't give medical advice. I don't know if we have anything more on that one though.
Well, definitely work with the doctor. They have to make sure that he is safe, because surgery is very risky and they have parameters that a patient has to meet before they will qualify for surgery. So if you're wanting to help him get in better condition for surgery and want to try, using a carnivore ketogenic diet, you might want to try that. End-stage renal disease. There's a lot of people that will say, oh, you can't do a carnivore diet if you have kidney disease. But the kidneys, because they look at labs, and the labs can show an increase in creatinine, and sometimes a temporary decrease in glomerular filtration rate. But there's also a lot of people who have reversed their kidney disease with carnivore. But I would definitely, not, obviously having surgery, if he needs it, he needs it, but he needs to get his health to where it's safe enough.
All right. Hey, I got a quick announcement. I just noticed our good friend Carnivore Coach Lisa is in the chat, and
Right.
Coach Lisa is incredible. I'm doing a live stream with her Saturday night, and we're announcing the random winner of a Healing Humanity and Life Back System giveaway, where you could win one-on-one coaching with Coach Lisa. There's still time to enter. It's completely free to enter. You just put your email in. We're going to randomly pick someone Saturday night, and you could win one-on-one coaching with Coach Lisa. I will post in the comments right now the link. If you guys want to click on that, if you haven't entered to win yet, you can get a chance still before we run out of time. All right, we got from Kerry. I'm celebrating my 6-month carnivore anniversary today. Congratulations. You deserve a ribeye, by the way. Every 6 months you get a ribeye. Feeling fantastic, and thank you for all your instructional videos and wealth of knowledge. Awesome.
Love it.
Congratulations. We love to hear stories like that, so there's still time. Post your best testimony with hashtag ribeye or question. Thoughts on sardine fast? I'm intrigued and want to try tomorrow for a couple days and see how it goes. I've tried sardines. I've never tried the fast. Anyone here tried sardine fasting?
Haven't done the
Negative.
fast. Tried sardines for the first time recently, but a lot of people will do a sardine fast to help them get into ketosis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I will say my good friend Bill Knott has done some sardine fasts and had amazing, incredible results. He was really, really pumped up about those. And I know Dr. Boz has talked about that quite a bit also.
Oh, yeah. Everyone that I've talked to who's done a sardine fast has been happy that they did.
They've had good results. Yep.
I was just like scared to try sardines because I wasn't sure if I was going to like them, and I was just happy that I liked them.
Right. Nobody's Fault podcast. 6 years carnivore today. Med free at 63.
Woo-hoo.
Excellent.
Med free at 63. That's great. I love
How
that.
many people can say that?
Right. You know what's funny? I got to tell a little story. I was in the grocery store taking advantage of some of the sales and buying a ribeye, but I'm standing in line with a lady who has she says, "Hey, I know you're getting a lot of good deals here, but do you want an extra coupon?" I said, "Sure." It gives me a 20% off coupon. And we start talking about it. I was like, "Well, how'd you get this?" And I said, "Are you sure that works off of the sale discount?" And it did. And she says, "Every time I go to the pharmacy and fill up my meds, once you hit a certain amount, they give you this extra coupon." And I said, "Oh, wow, that's amazing." Unfortunately, I'm not on any medications. And it was just one of those like feelings of like, wow, that's really great. And we started talking about it. It led to, she's buying a ribeye, I'm buying ribeye. And we got talking about the carnivore diet and got on a good conversation about it. But it started with her handing me a coupon that she got because every time she goes to the pharmacy to fill up her meds, they give her a discount coupon to buy the rest of the groceries there in the store. So just love hearing med free at 63, and not having to depend on the pharmacy like that. That's fantastic. Great job.
Amazing. 6 years. 6 years and going strong. I love it. All right, we got a question from Tom. What are the best practices for someone with the MTHFR mutation? Any supplement recommendations?
Lynn.
I have the MTHFR variant. So I take a product called Homocysteine Supreme, which helps support that homocysteine pathway, which is what we struggle with when we have the MTHFR variant. Another thing that I've done recently is grabbed my Stratagene report, which I had done about a year ago or so, from my ancestry.com genetic material. And I got this huge report and it's overwhelming. And so I finally, with the help of AI, not that I follow AI's recommendations without checking with the doctor, but I asked it to please put it in ChatGPT, said, "Please tell me, is there anything I'm missing here? Is there anything I need to know?" And it did bring up some things related to the MTHFR variant that I could do a little differently, tweaking some of the vitamins, an extra B12, adding extra riboflavin, and actually taking a little less of the homocysteine supreme. So I would say I would recommend working with, if you can get a naturopathic doctor, somebody that can work with you on tweaking what you need to do for yourself and make sure you're getting some baseline labs and monitoring it. That would be, to me, the best thing to do, is to not necessarily try to do it on your own, because you have your own unique individual, variances. But supporting that homocysteine pathway with the B vitamins, and it's methylated B vitamins, because the problem is that with that variant, we do not methylate properly from food. So you need that support. You need to get that extra vitamins in the methylated form.
stuff. Okay. We have a question about a cruise. David, new to carnivore and going on a cruise for my birthday. Plan on eating carnivore on the cruise. Is there any carnivore safe dessert to have for my birthday celebration?
Ribeye.
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
Yeah.
Medium rare. Or picanha would also be acceptable. Yeah. Seriously, if you're going to eat carnivore the whole time, like, I'm not telling you what to do, but you're going to regret the birthday celebration. I'm sorry, but.
My recommendation is redefine dessert.
Yeah. Bring some butter bites with or something.
But you just had some expertise on your cruise. You got it figured out. How do you stay carnivore on the cruise?
The biggest thing is you just got to use your voice, and you got to use the word allergy a lot also. But you got to avoid the seed oil, especially with breakfast. But
okay, so tell about the bacon and what they do with the bacon.
The bacon I was actually wrong on. I discovered on so I thought the bacon was deep fried, but after extensively interviewing the entire staff of the ship, 4 different people, it's not. They actually cook it in the oven. But where they can get you on the cruise is usually with breakfast. If you have eggs or an omelet, they don't just cook it in seed oils. It is literally swimming in seed, like a ridiculous amount of seed oil.
2 scoops of oil.
Huge scoops. It's like boiling it. So that was the biggest thing is you have to go to them and say, I'm allergic to seed oils. And they have little butter packets and they're real butter. And you bring them, you say, could you please use this instead? I did that every morning and that really helped. There's also sit-down restaurants where you can order eggs and you could do the same thing. Just to use that. But that's the big one. But yeah.
And since you won't brag on it, I guess on the Homestead How channel, you can go and literally watch a 20-minute video on exactly how you did it with all the tips and tricks, which is actually it was a really well done video. I loved how you put that together for fellow cruisers.
And, and as carnivores, we all have to come to terms with how we celebrate special occasions like birthdays. And it's hard to break free from that because it's such a cultural and social thing. But I definitely would encourage you to try to break free of feeling that you need to have dessert on your birthday and maybe have a special experience instead, something that's memorable that, you can look back on with no regret. And we often when we have cake and we have other sweets and stuff on a special occasion, regret is what we end up with. And we just like, why did I do that? It's a very temporary pleasure to your tongue. And then it does nothing but bad things once it passes into your gut. It spikes your blood sugar. It spikes your insulin levels. Many people end up with other issues, joint pain, headaches, all sorts of things. And so I just would encourage anybody to pick something non-food related to do to celebrate.
Yeah. Turn it into an event or something. I'm with you on that one, Lynn. Plus, a lot of us, I know myself, if I were to celebrate that way, I'm addicted. I would be binging and I would be back on the bad road. The last thing I'll say that maybe will encourage you if you're on the fence about this is the other reason is the desserts on most cruises are kind of junk anyways. If you're going to spoil it for something like that, you're going to be disappointed for that reason as well, I think. But all right, we got to do a giveaway now. We're giving away a Healing Humanity shirt, #ribeye. We're going to be doing another one here in a second. So let's share my screen here. Here we go. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is.
We need the.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Tanya's in our membership site. Good to see you here, Tanya.
Tanya's one of our Healing Humanity Life members.
Adam, how can Tanya claim her shirt?
Well, Kerry, Tanya can claim her shirt at healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. Fill out the form and Ashley will promptly send you your shirt. Congratulations.
And if you want to join the Healing Humanity membership site like Tanya has, there is a promo code scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now so you can get 50% off your first month. There's also a link in the description below. And we are also going to do another giveaway here. Speaking of, make sure that's working. So post your best question or testimony with #life, and we're going to be giving away a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. We do over a dozen Zoom calls per week. Doctors, experts, individuals, Q&As, inspired together. We've got courses. But mostly we've got community, which is a big missing piece of the puzzle for many people that are trying to find healing. If you're trying to eat this way, you're usually the odd one out. So we are here to help you on a path to healing. Post your best question with hashtag life or your testimony. All right. The next one we have is, hey, we got a super chat from Grandma's Crochet.
Oh, cool.
Hey, there she is.
I don't know. This is Barbara, our friend Barbara. I don't know if you meant to post a comment, but we'll check below in case you did, because sometimes those get detached from the super chats. But thank you so much for that. And real quick, I want to encourage everyone, go subscribe to Grandma's Crochet Corner. She's got a very inspiring story and YouTube channel, and she's putting out a lot of really good videos and some very amazing, incredible, beautiful music as well.
Yeah.
Grandma's Crochet Corner.
And I want to share with her that I was shocked recently to come into my husband's office and find him on one of your lives while you were crocheting.
Was Dave
I was
crocheting?
crocheting in the other room, and my husband was in here watching Grandma's Crochet Corner.
Dave is currently at the craft store right now buying some crochet needles for
He was
himself.
like, hey, I'm starting to feel inspired about this crochet thing. He's only been watching me crochet for 35 years.
All right, Cynthia, I am on a stall doing the same as always, 6 months in. I lost 40 pounds. What can I do for a stall? Do I have to fast? Please help. I can't do sardines.
You know, fasting is definitely a good way to kickstart. But really, I think what I've heard the most is an adjustment, like change things up, do something that's a little different. If you're in a rhythm or routine, that change may be beneficial. So that may be a fast, that may be changing when you eat during the day or how much you eat during the day, or you know, make something a little bit different, and that a lot of times will kick things off. You may also increase your fat a little bit. So I don't know where you are. Let's see, 6 months, lost 40 pounds. So I don't know where you've got to go on that, but
that's great weight loss too.
That's another, yeah, exactly. That's a great, in 6 months time, 40 pounds is a lot of weight to lose. So your body may be prioritizing some other things at this point, and that's totally normal.
Yeah. But the comment, doing the same as always, I agree, Ashley, that often our body gets used to what we're doing and sometimes just kind of stalls out. So I completely agree. Switch up your macros from day to day, switch up the amount you're eating from day to day, confuse your body, and it'll start responding again.
One thing I wanted to add with that too is, you know, obviously this isn't a coaching session or anything like that. It'd be nice to dive a little bit more deeper into these questions and find out exactly what's going on. There's so many things that can affect a stall. You know, your mindset, for one, can affect it. You know, stress in your life plays a big factor as well, with cortisol production, and that increases your sugar, glucose levels, and can cause all kinds of issues as well. So there's just so many things that could
Sleep.
Your sleep, your circadian rhythm, many different factors that can go into a weight loss stall. It's not just what you eat. So you maybe head on over to healinghumanity.life, hop on one of our Q&As there, and we have experts on every Wednesday, and you know, we can maybe dive in a little bit deeper.
North Dakota carnivore Lance, 62 hours into a sardine fast now.
Wow.
There you go.
Cool.
How you feeling, Lance? Let us know. And then Debbie's asking, how do you cook sardines?
Well, you
Air
don't
fryer.
have to. You don't have to cook them if you don't want to, but the first time I made sardines, there was no way I was going to eat them right out of the can. So I just sauteed them in butter. And
A lot of people do that though, don't they? They eat them right out of the can.
I ended up eating
Oh,
them
yeah.
right out of the can.
Most people do.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So it was, you know, Coach Lisa had us doing sardines for a whole week, and it was during my daughter was fairly newly pregnant. She's in her second trimester now, but she was nauseated at I open a can and she's nauseated.
Yeah.
And so the first time when I made the sardines in butter, she was like, walked into the house like, oh my goodness. And her and her husband are living with us now. So I ended up eating mine out of the can on our back patio. So it's possible. It's not bad. I would get them in water. And oh, one tip though with sardines, look at the can and make sure it actually is sardines, because there are cans out there that they say they're sardines and it's a different fish. So
Really?
yeah, I figured that out when I went to go buy the sardines, and it's like, wait a minute, this says sardines, but it's not sardines.
All right. Joshua has a question for Adam about electrolytes. What electrolytes should I take during the adaptation period? Just sodium or also potassium and magnesium, and how much?
Yeah, I mean, some people get away with just sodium, but most people will supplement with sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And usually people go with a product like Element, Redmond's Relight, or there's a new brand, Salter, that actually has it there. That good friend of ours that runs Meat Stock started that company. So I definitely would suggest theirs. Theirs is a lot cleaner. The salt that they use has a lower amount of heavy metals in it. That's the lowest amount that you can get out there. But yeah, potassium, sodium, magnesium is usually the go-to for most people during that transition period.
Yeah, you can also mix Soleil water.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've been enjoying the Salter, just the flaky salt, which has electrolytes in it also. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, we got a bunch of questions coming in here now. Let's see. Run on ribeye. I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis back in 2019. I've been carnivore since 2020 and have managed to keep it in remission. Can't wait for the Healing Humanity movie to come out.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Hey.
Real quick, congratulations on your progress. Thank you for your nice words. We were just talking about the documentary. Adam and I just met with our editor yesterday, and 15 of the 16 segments are edited. We are on the home stretch, so almost there. It's going to be worth the wait.
Yay.
We got MedFree at 62. Brad, Kerry, this is Brad, 14 pounds, 2.5 weeks. Talk to you on the live. Me and my wife are loving it. Oh, it's amazing, Brad. Glad to hear from you again. I recognize you here.
That's awesome.
That's a great start, man. And we got our friend Jet's Afterburner podcast with a question. I've completed 14 months and it has been life-changing. Down 70 pounds.
Wow.
I've gone to Disney, Atlantic Coast family road trip, Dominican Republic. This has taught me mental discipline. Thank you.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Happy for you.
That's so good. I love that. I thought he was putting those locations that he went because of the, he's been able to travel and get out for what he normally wouldn't have done. But I think he was listing that more as the discipline, going places, traveling, and still remaining strict carnivore. So I love that. Great job.
Ellen, me too, 69 and pretty much med-free life.
Nice.
That's excellent.
6 Madre, 16 months carnivore here. Woohoo!
Excellent.
All right, here we go with a question from Jackie. My doctor and everything online has said that beef red meat is especially not good for an enlarged spleen. Any evidence, research showing carnivore, ketovore might actually be beneficial?
I would be surprised if there was research showing either, because the research regarding diet nutrition is very poor quality. So when you look at the spleen's part of your immune system. And so if you want to support your immune system, you need to decrease inflammation. And so I can't say that I know for sure one way or the other, but I'd be very surprised if there was research either way. I would maybe ask your doctor if the doctor has research to show that it is bad for an enlarged spleen, and maybe start there. Because if you can get a study, I would definitely look at it, because any dietary study, they use food frequency questionnaires. And so typically what they'll do is they'll ask people to report back on what they ate. And maybe sometimes they don't even pretend like they do it a lot. They don't actually have people tracking. They say, it's been a year. Can you tell us how much of this particular food you've eaten over the last year? And those are actually literally how they collect their data. So it always blows my mind that we actually come to conclusions based on that type of data collection. And they'll include things like hamburgers and lasagna and spaghetti as
Right.
meat.
Right.
So,
oh, did you eat red meat? I had a hamburger, a combo meal. Yeah, I must have had red meat. That counted, but
right.
don't mind the French fries, chocolate milkshake, and everything else that went with it, right?
Right. And it's also assumed, but probably known, that people who ignore dietary guidelines and they eat a lot of red meat and they're eating the hamburgers and the pizza and the spaghetti, they're also drinking alcohol. A lot of them are smoking. There's other lifestyle factors that contribute. And so you can't draw conclusions that it's the red meat when they're also eating carbs, they're also eating sugar, and they're also indulging in all sorts of stuff. So, but yet they take these studies and they say it's the red meat that's the problem.
All right, this one's for Lynn. Lynn, can you read this one too? Can I heal cholergeric urticaria, also called heat pins or paresthesia?
Yeah, I'd have to look up what that was, because that was a long time ago since I've been in nursing school. Heat pins and paresthesia. So I know that's neurological. So I'm just going to assume it's neurological. Anything that's neurological, you're going to want to be on higher fat, because nerves are one of the organ systems that can take longer to heal, but it's all inflammation. And so getting rid of the inflammatory foods is a great first step. So the carbohydrates are going to spike insulin. That does not help with inflammation. Sticking to a diet that gets you into a state of ketosis is amazing for healing. But nerves, the myelin sheath of your nerves is made up of fat. So you want to have high fat if you want to heal your nerves. And I'm talking not volume, I'm talking like calories. So you want at least 80% of your fat to come from calories if you're wanting to heal your brain or your whole nervous system.
Good stuff. All right. Grandma's Crochet Corner new member and gifted 5 Homestead How memberships.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Amazing. All right, Lexi, is it true that when you start to have sugar cravings, it means certain gut bacteria are dying off? I'll take this one. I interviewed Malia on my channel, who talks quite a bit about this, and that's something she told me that I found really interesting, and just how much control our gut bacteria can have over our brain. There's the gut-brain axis, even to the point where she was telling me people will have like sometimes intense dreams, and oftentimes that can be a signal of certain types of gut bacteria dying off. And there's actually different stages that she was talking about. She's like, we can almost chart it on a calendar for some people when it will happen. But a lot of folks that are going carnivore, you're starving your gut bacteria without having those starches and carbs, that a lot of those end up dying around the same time for people. Sometimes it's around 3 weeks, sometimes it's around 3 months, and there's different time periods. So I think absolutely. It's a tricky question though, because a lot of the good doctors, when you talk to them, and just a lot of people in general, they say we know very little about our gut bacteria. I've heard many people say it's kind of like the ocean. We know about 1% of what's going on there, but I believe that to be true. I don't know if anyone else here has any thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I've heard that can be the case, but when it comes to sugar cravings too, I would look at more than just gut bacteria, because you can be not eating sugar and you can still end up with sugar cravings if there's a lot of food around you and you're looking at it. I mean, just thinking about eating can spike your insulin. And so it's amazing how much our brains and what we look at visually can impact us. So if you're at work and everyone's bringing a bunch of sweets in, and you're maybe, even if you're not indulging it yourself, but you're kind of looking at it, it can actually kind of trigger some of those cravings as well.
All right. Here's a good question. We'll start with Ashley on this one. What is your favorite go-to staple meal for day-to-day on carnivore?
My staple meal. Really, honestly, we do a lot of hamburger patties. I have a griddle, and I love just doing smash burgers. That's a simple one, and I do a lot at once, so I make a bunch up, keep them in the fridge. But I'm also blessed to be in Texas, and I take advantage of the sales whenever there's sales on ribeyes, and I cut them up, vacuum seal, throw them in the freezer, and eat them regularly. Definitely a go-to. I love a good ribeye. So, but there's all sorts of I could keep going on and on and on. So I'll leave it at that. Those are my two staples.
Mine lately, I've talked about the Powerball many times, but burger patties all the time. But lately in our household, it's been meatballs, all sorts of different types of meatballs. And the best combination we've come up with is 30% ground pork, 70% ground beef, bacon, and blue cheese crumble. It's got to be about that big. That's the perfect meatball right there. We've tried every different variation to get to that point, but
meatball perfection right there.
Yeah. All right, we got $2 super chat from Ray 2878. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We got a question for anyone that lives in Washington. Lynn, I've been calling.
I live in Washington.
When I moved to Washington, I got acne. Any fixes?
Oh my goodness. I'd be wondering about, the only thing I can think of from a dietary standpoint would be if you're buying your food from a different source, and how the food is raised can impact you. And so hard to say, to be honest, because I live in Washington, and I know that we have it's damp here, but as far as acne goes, I would be curious about the sourcing of your food. And I don't know where you live in Washington, but I live in Snohomish. Dr. Baker lives in Snohomish. There's some good ranches around here where they have really well raised beef and lamb and pork and everything, and you can maybe source out some really good quality meat and see if that makes a difference.
Good stuff. All right, we've got Bride's Biscuit. 2 years of failed keto revealed my carb addiction. Changing my relationship with food was the paradigm shift that was both foundational and transformative in my healing under carnivore. I'm really glad you shared that, and I'm glad you found healing. I think that is a huge thing for so many people. I myself did the same thing on keto, yo-yoed for years and years until I realized I'm trying to moderate my addiction. And when I went carnivore, I overcame that. So really,
what other addiction can be moderated?
I don't know. I don't know of any. I don't know. We try to do it with food, but I don't know of any. All right. Penny Lane has a question. Is it okay for a type 1 diabetic on insulin pump?
Yeah, there's a lot of type 1 diabetics that I would go look at Brisket Boomer's YouTube channel. She's type 1 diabetic, and absolutely be working with your doctor, because it's super important, as you know, being a type 1 diabetic, how important it is to make sure that you're under medical supervision. But she has been able to get her insulin requirements really low. So it is absolutely okay. But you definitely need to make sure you're working with your doctor. And I spoke earlier of Sophia Clemens with Paleo Medica. She actually has some case studies, and one of them is a case study where they were able to catch type 1 diabetes fairly early in a young man who was 19, and actually had doing just a fatty beef diet, have his pancreas beta cells start producing insulin again. So I'm hoping that
wonderful,
eventually that'll be the first treatment for type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
Any research showing the benefits of carnivore for Parkinson's? Question for Adam.
I'm not sure that there's actually any research on this, but there are anecdotal stories out there of people that have improved their Parkinson's, including one, Mimi Morgan. She actually had Parkinson's diagnosis and had it removed eating a carnivore diet. So as far as I know, everything to this point is anecdotal in this area. But it's hard to go wrong with almost any condition eating a proper human diet.
Love it. Good stuff. All right. We are getting near the end of the hour here. We got to do another drawing. We're going to be doing a drawing for 30-day membership, healinghumanity.life. Here we go. Winner of a 30-day membership. And again, if you don't win, there is a special offer scrolling across the screen, Life 1225. Adam, how can Robert Butler claim his prize?
Well, Kerry, Robert Butler can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will promptly send you a code to access the site free. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Robert. All right. I think we got time for one more question here. Let's see. On a scale of kale to ribeye, how is everyone feeling today?
That's great.
Ribeyes.
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk. Solid ribeye.
Blue rare ribeye. There you go.
Right.
2-pound ribeye.
Well, we appreciate everyone coming on and asking some great questions and sharing your testimonies. It's always very inspiring. Adam, Lynn, Ashley, do you guys got anything big coming up you want to announce before we wrap things up?
San Diego and Meatstock. So if you're going to Meatstock, go to meatstockconvention.com and use the coupon code Healing Humanity. And yeah, we'll have Ashley talk to you about San Diego.
Shout out Coach Lisa, who's in the chat, and as Kerry mentioned, going to be on live Saturday with Kerry. She's also going to be in San Diego, and if you've been following the chat, you can see how many amazing answers and how knowledgeable she is, and just absolutely amazing, willing to help anybody and everybody, and wants to help anybody and everybody. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Try and get some free coaching, or come meet her in person in San Diego.
Yep. I'll be in San Diego too. So looking forward to meeting anybody who's going to be there this Saturday. I'm going to be hanging out with our friend Thomas from Target Prime Rib on his channel on a live stream.
Yeah.
So, and it's been a while since I posted to my channel, but I did post an update video this past Monday. So anyone who watches me, check it out. I had a couple of really cool big wins, and I'm finally way less than my husband. I used to weigh about 150 pounds more than him, and I finally weigh. Now I weigh less than him.
Wow,
So,
That's awesome.
yes, yay! So that
How's he
was
feeling about that?
Huh?
I love that.
He's
Yeah.
off in the corner crocheting right now. We'll
He's
ask
That's how you started crocheting.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick too, we probably won't be here next Thursday because it's Christmas. So I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone from all of us here, and happy holidays to everyone. And yeah, we just really appreciate you guys so much. And this is really exciting for us to come on and try to help everybody out. So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone. And if you're new here and you're like, what are these guys talking about with all the documentary talk we had going on earlier? If you go to healinghumanity.movie, you can watch our 2 trailers, and there's a free thing. You can sign up for our email newsletter, and that is where you'll be the first to know when our final trailer comes out and when the documentary's finished. We're right on the home stretch now, so make sure to sign up for that free email newsletter. Thank you guys all so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you all. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye for now.
Beep.